I am so unprepared. I am the most unprepared guy in the world. You know, it's funny. I'm looking down below me, and I see Walt giving me the finger below me, and I'm not saying below me. I'm saying below me. All right, guys, welcome to Cool Crap We Love, episode number 37. Oh my God, 37. And it's been it's been a long it's been a long bunch. It's been a long winter. It's been a long month of March, and it's April 5th, a day right after Easter Sunday and Passover, where I've eaten so much I actually had to my check cholesterol light went on in my heart last night. So anyway, let's move right along. Tonight's a great show. It's Cool Crap We Love. And what is it about? It's about the diners and the fast food places that we all belonged to back in the 80s. And already there's like a dozen people popping in there. Welcome. Let's bring on the cohort, Mr. Walt Papaleo. And I'm not going to make fun of his name today. I'm just going to call him Walt Papaleo. Where are you, Walt? There you go. Okay.
How are you? Hey,
Let
me ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you something. In the promo in the beginning, why did we have Century 21 and Corvettes and Tom McCann's Up and Buster Brown?
I threw that in.
Why?
Because
those has nothing to do with diners. It has nothing to do with drive-ins, and it has nothing to do with fast food.
Well, I told you I was so unprepared.
And that's why I was giving you.
You know why? Because I started thinking about when I was growing up, all the places that I used to frequent, and when I would go to Burger King, let's say, that was really popular in the 70s or 80s, and across the street, you'd go shopping in Corvettes. And then I thought, well, let me throw a couple of those in because they're all things that I grew up around, these diners and fast food places. You didn't go to just fast food you didn't go to McDonald's. You went, hey, we're going to go here. I'm going to go shopping, and then want to go to McDonald's. You did stuff. You
confused me. And if you confused me and I knew what was going on, can you imagine the people who didn't know what was going on?
Yeah. And I have those pictures to bring up later. So I'll confuse you even further.
No, I'm looking at them and I was like, wow. So what'd you do for Easter? You do anything good? Is that a big holiday in the PZ household?
Every holiday is a big holiday in the PZ house. I mean, anything that gets family, I'm all about family and eating and having a good time.
Go to church?
No.
Did you put on your Facebook page, "He is risen"?
I actually wrote like 4 jokes.
I know you did.
Yeah. And I don't know if they got well received or not. I really wasn't paying attention. I was thinking about, and I started writing, and I wrote a couple of really nasty jokes that I did not put up because I just don't want to hear people canceling me how bad I shouldn't do it. It's not right and all that kind of stuff.
I know.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, they're not going to be playing the All-Star game in John Peasy's backyard.
Yeah, there you go. That's the connection right there. It's the All-Star game. Not funny.
So no, we came up with this. We literally came up with this idea maybe a day ago. John says, "What about diners, drive-ins, and fast food?" I was like, "Good enough."
Yeah, well, I was thinking about it because you said to me Friday, "What kind of theme would you like to do?" And I started thinking, like, I don't know. And then after being bloated and tired, I thought, well, thinking of bloated and tired, I think of fast food.
Yeah, I don't do really much for Easter. I just I put on my Easter bonnet. I go to church. I didn't go to church. I don't go to church. I'm not a church guy.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've spoken to Bob Rumba. He went to church.
Did it? Which dummy did he bring with him?
He all by himself, and he also mentioned that he goes there and like he's in the choir.
Is he really?
He's in the choir. He sings in the choir, so he has to be there extra early. Has to go with the days in practice and everything. And so people are, I got nothing against people going to church.
No.
It's all good. It's all good.
You want to go, man? Go.
I mean, are you a spiritual person? It's
not my bag, baby.
Are you a spiritual person, Walt? Are you a spiritual being?
Only when I'm in trouble.
And you're sitting there releasing the gas from your mouth in between your words.
That tasted like green peppers, by the way.
Yeah,
that's my new thing. I'm eating green peppers just for no reason, like candy.
I just came home from my office and I had just like 3 pieces of chicken thighs and potatoes with onions, kind of thing. Like baked. It's in the same pan as the onions, cooking in there. Ate all that stuff, and I'm sleepy. I'm actually sleepy now.
Do they sell those at diners though? So listen, we got a lot of things to get to. So let's start getting to them. I got a feeling there's going to be a couple we're going to talk about in length.
Okay, you're absolutely right. And by the way, let me just check the comments. There's 120 people here already, so let's just
Hello,
real quick see.
120.
Oh, there you go. What happened to all the comics hanging out at the diners after shows? That is very true, Peaches. Yeah,
Peaches, is that Peaches Rodriguez?
that's exactly who it is. That's right.
Hello, Peaches. You know, Peaches is the one who took the photograph of me and what's his name? Kevin. What's his name?
I have
Kevin,
no idea.
the guy from Kevin Can Wait. Kevin James.
Oh, Kevin James. Yeah, she was there.
Yeah, so the picture of me and Kevin James, Peaches Rodriguez took that picture.
Yeah, I've worked with Peaches many times. She's a wonderful comic, and she's been out there a lot of years too, like all of us, really banging it out, doing the gigs, and she's been around a long time, and she's a pro.
Thanks for watching, Peaches.
Thanks, Peaches. And also we have Joe Balcado. Miss your show, John. Well, thank you, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
That's very nice of you to say. Welcome. Meet Walt, the man who burps up peppers in between our speaking.
Peppers. Peppers.
What else we got here? Let's see. Oh, Sharon Mengel, all the way now. She's from Pennsylvania. Hi, John, Mom. Mom and I are watching now. Remember when Burger King was Carol's? Oh, I don't even know that.
I don't remember that. How old is this broad?
She actually looks very young.
That might be one of those Tinder pictures that she's putting up.
I'm sure that Cher is not on Tinder. Oh, guess who's here? Your favorite person, Tony Hassini, magician and old Burger King commercial. That's right. You wouldn't know this because you're not a magi like John.
You guys are
John.
So
isn't John the guy that always wants you dead?
No, that's Saucino, isn't it?
That's the guy. That's the guy. As a matter of fact, the guy who always wants you dead is right here.
That is him. Wow, that's like Weird Al Yankovic had a baby with Ted Nugent.
There he is. All right. Okay, shout outs to Peaches. See you guys soon. Take care, Peaches. Stay well. Oh, look, it's Charlie Fisher. It's cold in New Jersey. Why is John wearing a hoodie with snowflake? I'm going to tell you why.
John's wearing his wife's mink.
I tell you why. I just came home. The air conditioning was on. My studio is in a basement, and it's literally 50 degrees down here. I actually would put on a parka with a big hoodie if I could get. My hands are frozen here. I'm like, oh.
Just so you know, the way the zoning works in John's house is the third floor and the basement are on the same zone. The middle floor, which is the main floor, has one zone. So for the basement to be on, the upstairs has to be on. And his wife is not even on that floor. So she's air conditioning 2 floors that she's not even on.
Yeah, and everyone needs to know that. Let's see who else is here real quick. David Merle. Hey, Merlin. I've been to Peggy Sue's Diner out in Desert between. No, I've never been to Peggy Sue's Diner. No,
but I tell you what, I saw Merlin on the Penn and Teller show. He is a creepy bastard, man.
I haven't seen it yet. Is it good?
Yeah, he's a creepy bastard on there.
Good. I'm looking forward to see it. I've been on the busy road doing road stuff here. All right, I'm going to take a look at that. Dan Nav. Hey, Walt. How about the Stephen Matz? Go great.
Well, Matz just the Mets traded him because he wasn't that great, and then he goes to Toronto Blue Jays today and pitches a gem. That's what Dan Nav is talking about.
Is that what he's talking about?
You wouldn't even know what I said right there.
I have no idea.
I could have been Charlie Brown's teacher to you at that point.
I don't pay attention to any of that stuff. Rixie, Vegas Diner in Brooklyn. Yeah, I have been to Vegas Diner in Brooklyn and had French fries and a cheeseburger. Which, by the way, you always have to have wonderful cheeseburgers, and you have to have good French fries and cheeseburgers and coffee at a diner, right? Peaches haven't heard the word Sinatra's died. Oh, what word? Word.
Oh, okay. Broad.
Okay. Hey, Latif is there.
I said, so I used the word broad, and she says she hasn't heard it since Sinatra died.
Because you're an old school kind of dude.
I am a cuckoo, baby.
Maureen Martin says, I also remember Carol's. Okay, it's 2 people.
Carol's was Burger King. I didn't know that.
Maureen Martin must be older because she's got a picture of Elvis on there. And by the way, when I was looking up some old stores and stuff from the 70s and 60s, the on the shelf, they were selling Elvis records.
Yeah, that's great if we're doing a show about old stores.
But I have some stores that I threw them in. Callahan's Hot Dogs at Fort Lee.
What is that?
Callahan's Hot Dogs. Been there?
All right. I've never been there.
Okay. Hello, John and Walt. Okay, let's move on real quick. Let's start. We haven't done anything yet, and let's start it up. So the first one here is I brought this up because when I was a kid in Brooklyn in the 80s. I was a little chubby, and I liked eating at this place. You don't know where I'm going to bring up, do you?
No, but I'm looking at you thinking you're not chubby now.
Oh, I am chubby. I am.
You're like, I was chubby. No, you are chubby.
We have dueling chins.
Oh, I got it here. You can see it from this side.
Got the whole thing going on. But I got to tell you, yesterday and the day before, I had my treadmill fixed down here, and I went on the treadmill, and I've been treadmilling. So I've been working out, I've been treadmilling, but I've been still overeating. So I ate
eating a
yesterday.
bucket of chicken on a treadmill does not help.
I ate yesterday half of pie. You know, what's it called? Like, you know, they have the pie in the dish, and then there's chocolate like pudding, and then there's vanilla whipped cream on. What is that called? Vanilla cream pie?
Whatever. It's called a fat pie.
I ate a half of that pie. And you know, I was like, get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it. And yet I'm thinking right now, I know that half a pie is still up in that refrigerator.
I had like a quarter of a marble cheesecake with Oreo cookies crunched on the bottom of it last night. And now I'm drinking salsa. Look at, I'm trying to be good. This is blueberry cucumber, if you could see that.
Oh, blueberry. Yeah, that's healthy. That's very healthy.
Oh, blackberry cucumber. That's what I'm drinking. Hey, can we get to some pictures?
Okay. So I was a chubby kid for sure.
Yes.
And I like to eat, and this was bad food, and I like it.
Is that off the treaches?
Yeah. Off the treaches,
treaches.
fish and chips.
I'm not a fish guy, so I don't think I've ever eaten in a place like this, but
Okay.
I probably would eat the chips.
That you never had Arthur Treach's fish and chips?
No.
Now you're going to be
Never.
very interested. You're going to be very interested about this. Arthur Treach, I looked this up. Arthur Treach's fish and chips had 800 locations around the country back in the day.
Yeah.
And the guy who started Arthur Treach's was a sidekick on the Merv Griffin show. I bet you nobody knows who it is. I guarantee you. He was a sidekick on Merv Griffin shows. He played Jeeves the butler and Constable Jones and Mary Popkins.
Really?
Yeah. See, that's
and he made Arthur Treach's?
He's Arthur Treacher. His name is, he died in 1975. He was 81 years old. He died of heart disease, which is even funnier.
He overdosed on fish.
And before he did Arthur Treacher's, they used to use his name, Arthur Treacher, in a home service and serve for painting and fixing, like a handyman kind of service.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's just a really strange thing. So anyway, I was a big fan of this stuff when I was a kid. It was like crispy.
They were all over. Yeah, they were all over those fish and chips.
And who is Arthur Treacher? This is Arthur Treacher. That's the man.
Kind of looks like Dan Nav.
Here you go.
Or David Merlin. I'm sorry, David Merlin.
And it was taken over by Nathan's bought it.
Nathan's bought Arthur Treacher's?
That's correct.
Oh, look at that, huh?
Yeah.
See, Nathan's I've had a hot dog at Nathan's. I've had a hamburger at Nathan's, and I like the fries because they're the big, it's almost like a whole potato, and they give you that little plastic, like that
fork.
Aquaman fork.
Right.
It looks like the Aquaman spear.
A mini trident is what it is.
Is that what it's called?
A mini trident.
2-pronged fork.
3 prongs, yeah, the mini trident. Now, so when you were a kid, you had Nathan's, but you never had, I'm surprised you never had the Arthur Treacher's. Okay.
No. I'm not a fish guy.
You don't like, well, actually, there's another weird thing about this Arthur Treacher's. They started off using cod. And then there was this big cod wars in the late 70s and early 80s. And they switched from cod to another fish, apparently, because it was cheaper.
You should not know this.
Yeah, I should not know that. And by the way, I was a big fan of this. When this first came out, Arthur Treacher's, it started a war with fried fish because the UK is the one that invented fish and chips.
Right, chips.
But there were 4 other brands that came out at the same time, and they were trying to dent into this place. And the other brands, if you remember, and you've probably seen them, Long John Silver's.
Yeah, Long John, that's still around though, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And Captain B's.
That I don't remember.
Okay, and there was a place called Skipper's. And
I don't remember it.
And I think it was called Alford Fish and Chips or something like that. And then this whole thing in the 70s grew really rapidly, and then all of a sudden it was taken down. Mrs. Paul's buys the chain, and because of those cod wars, she switches from cod to pollock. Because now when you buy the fish that was fried, it was pollock. And then in 1982, they went bankrupt, and I don't know. Who knows what happened? And then famous Nathan's bought it. And and then when Nathan's bought it, they took this. They also took Kenny Rogers Roasters and Miami Subs, and they combined them into this one little thing.
You are
No,
a fish and chip nerd.
I like fish and chips. I really like fish and chips. I always did. I'm surprised that you don't eat it. I used to eat fried foods a lot, which is really bad. As a matter of fact, another one I used to eat a lot was this.
Oh, there's Pudgy's there is chicken. I never had that because there's never one by me. But Arthur Treacher's and Nathan's again.
Mm-hmm.
Look at you. You kept the menu. Nice.
No, I didn't get that. I got it on. I kept the menu. Yeah. I used to eat those Pudgy's fried chicken too, which was very good. Anyway, all right, we can move on. Here's another place that I brought up that I don't think I remember driving on the road and seeing this all the time.
Don't remember it.
Get out of here. Pizza. Were you ever on the road a lot? When you're on the road a lot, you'd see this all around the country.
Where though?
I don't know. It was like off the parkways and turnpikes and stuff.
Not in New Jersey.
Maybe not.
Not in New Jersey. That must have been when you were on your way to Arthur Treacher's and saw that.
No, I think it was like upstate New York. Like you'd see
really? I'm in upstate New York. I don't remember ever Shakey's Pizza.
Really? Okay.
Who owns that? Michael J. Fox?
You know, you want it, interestingly enough, who owns Shakey's Pizza? The guy who opened up Shakey's Pizza, he opened in California in like the 50s, and the guy's name was Sherwood Shaky Johnson.
Was he shaky? Did he have Parkinson's?
He had something go wrong in his life, and he was a shaky guy. And he was shaky, and they gave him the name Shaky. Right. And he wasn't offended by today people say, "Oh, you offended me," to cancel you out for that. But
right. So this guy, you off the air.
Shaky Johnson, this guy Ed Plummer put together $850 each. They opened up this beer and restaurant pizzeria, and the whole idea of what this guy Shaky played Dixieland music, and the idea was to book live entertainment in a pizza parlor, and they opened them up, and they opened them up around the country, and they became very popular. And by the way, you could see, I have a picture here. You could see this. These are the guys. They used to sit at the pizza parlor and play music while people were eating. And this is Shaky Johnson. Here he is. Look at that beard and mustache thing. What do you call those sideburn things?
It looks like Richard Dawson.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like Richard Dawson. Yeah, maybe we, if they're still alive, maybe we can have them open for you.
No, it's funny you mention that because I was wondering like who we can get somebody to come on tonight. I have something else I want to tell you about that I wanted to get on here, but we could not. Shaky died in 1998 of a heart attack at 51.
Of course he did.
He did. He's gone. All right. Anyway, that's
he lasted that long.
He did. All right. So the next one coming up. Let me bring up one of yours because I'm yakking away. Oh, by the way, here's the fried fish.
Yeah.
This is what it looks like.
You know what? You're reading your stuff. I got this all in my noggin.
I know, and you're sitting on it. You never saw that fish and chips, huh?
I did. Yes, it looks delicious if it was chicken.
All right, I'm going to pull up one of yours here because I'm just yakking away here.
All right, so now we're in drive-ins, and the reason, you know what this is here?
That looks like the car that was from the great show movie with Back to the Future.
Yes, which Shaky, Shaky J. Fox was in it,
right?
And so they used a drive-in to go back in time from in the third one to bring back the Doc back in the Old West. So that was just in the movies they used.
I didn't know they used the drive-in. That's the tie. That's the tie.
Yeah, that's the tie.
Okay.
The tie. So they used the drive-in. So there's a couple different drive-ins that I used as ties because there's only so much you could say about a drive-in. So I brought up a couple movies that had drive-ins in them.
Where was this?
I'm assuming it was in California, Hill Valley, California, because when he went 88 miles an hour into the movie screen, he was in 1885, and the Indians started coming towards him that were on that land back in 1885. So he needed a big enough space to go 88 miles an hour, but also be hidden.
And apparently during the filming, there were a couple of Muslims praying to Allah at the same time.
I did not notice that, but yes, you point that out. I had I didn't even notice that, but
we
yes,
always pray to Allah before and after each scene. That's what I do.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they were going 88 miles an hour and they were just praying that nothing would happen.
Now you brought up this one, Miss America Diner.
Yeah, this has been in like Peggy. I think it was in Peggy Sue Got Married, but I'm not 100% sure. But this is in Jersey City on West Side Avenue by Culver Avenue, and this was a spot we would go to after drinking. St. Peter's College is right up the. I'm sorry, not St. Peter's College. Jersey City State College is right up the block from that, so they get a lot of business there. But that's a well-known diner that movies use in Jersey City.
People are saying they're getting hungry in the oh, there your brother's in there.
Yeah, he went out.
Vinegar on the fries. That's right. That's right, Dan. Now, Beefsteak Charlie. I used to do. Do you know the first shows I ever did publicly were at Beefsteak Charlie's when I was a kid?
Yeah, Beefsteak Charlie. Oh yeah.
Well, they used to have a talent show. Like every Thursday night was I don't know, like the Gong show at Beefsteak Charlie's.
What was their catch? I remember this.
Well, there was a big fat guy with a black mustache, and it was the seafood. I think it was the all your shrimp you can eat. Am I right?
That's it. You come to Beefsteak Charlie's, all the shrimp you can eat.
Yeah, that's what it was. There's another guy. Love all the treaches. Charlie Fisher. He played Jeeves the Butler in Shirley Temple. That's correct, Charlie. You're absolutely right.
That was Arthur Treacher.
Yeah. Mutton chops. Mutton chops. The show's making me hungry. Mr. Softy Ice Cream Truck. We didn't bring that one up either. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Miss America was in a 7-Up commercial. All right. Okay.
That's cool
right
crap that we should know, right? Well, that's cool crap we should know.
It's right. It was literally about 6 blocks away from where I grew up.
You brought this up too.
And I thought this was cool because in the diners, back in the day, and I think this is cool, they used to roller skate and bring your food out to you. And that was a cool little feature. Nobody would do that now.
There would be too much liability.
Yeah. Right? Too many people suing.
Yeah. But I do remember I remember as a kid going into the drive-in, I do remember they would hook that plate on the top of your window. And there was something really cool about like a lady putting a plate on a window and having like burgers and fries delivered to your window. I mean, I don't know. There's really cool about it.
And then she roller skated away.
Yeah. Yeah. And plus the girls always look cool with the little dresses on skates and stuff. It was kind of hot. You got the hot chick like delivering food to your car. I mean, as a fat American, what more do you want? I want to sit in my car and eat food and bring
Peaches hasn't heard the word chick since Dean Martin died.
Peaches is gone. She's gone. See, now this came up too. Rolling Roasters in Sheepshead Bay back in the day. By the way, did you have a Rolling Roasters where you were, Walt?
No.
Okay. Rolling Roasters was great. It was a roast beef sandwich. And Rolling Roasters is like a famous tradition in Brooklyn. I think there were other ones, but Rolling Roasters was huge. We used to go like after comedy club work in Pip's Comedy Club at night and go to Rolling Roasters. It was big, really big. I think Sonic or had girls on roller skates.
Sonic tried to do the girls on the roller skates outside. I don't think that lasted too long.
Yeah, what happened? I wonder.
I'm sure it was a lawsuit.
They do skaters at Stewart's?
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that either.
But he has a big of knowledge of this useless trivia as I am. So he's probably right.
Well, as he's smoking crack, you never know what he's
right. Crack baby.
Now, here's something weird. This is weird. You're not going to know this, Walt. I bet you don't get this. Tell me, do you know what this is?
That is an ice cream?
Yeah. This was a place called, and this is interesting too, it was called Frigid Queen. Frigid Queen.
Didn't know.
Okay. So Frigid Queen, I don't know. I think it was I don't know if it was in Ohio or Illinois or something like that, but it was called Frigid Queen. And it was a couple, a guy and his wife, they got together and they started making these really great ice cream things. And it was really successful. And after a while, they were like, we need to add in hamburgers and French fries. So they added in hamburgers and French fries. And that was the draw that pulled people in. What do you think they named this great new burger place?
McDonald's? Burger King. I thought that was Carol's.
No, they called it Burger King. So originally they were Frigid Queen. Then they add in the burgers, they become Burger King. And then what happens is at the same time, while they're Burger King, there's another company out of Florida that creates Burger King. Which is what burger? This Burger King.
That Burger King.
Right.
From the 70s.
And there was a difference between, if you look at the Burger King, you know, with the home of the Whopper.
It's amazing how many Burger King pictures you have. By the way, our wives actually took the name Frigid Queens.
When your wife's with me, I never heard that. Only maybe.
Right. Is there any way you could edit that out?
Yeah, that's great during a live broadcast.
She doesn't even watch.
Yeah, she hasn't watched in a while. So anyway, this Burger King guy decides to open up his own thing. And you know what's so funny about this?
Oh my God. You know too much about Burger King.
No, I looked it up. I just wanted to know. They sued each other. They went and they fought against one another about this whole thing. And Burger King of Florida, which is the real Burger King that we go to today, wins the suit. And then they allow the other guy to continue to hold his name Burger King because they didn't do it with any malicious intent. So now
go ahead.
Burger King owns 17,000 stores in the USA, and the original Burger King is still in Mattoon, Illinois, where it all started with the other guy is still there.
Did you know that this is the same exact story as McDonald's?
There is something similar to that, isn't there?
The movie The Founder, which I gave you a picture of, is the movie of Ray Kroc.
Is that it? No, that's AEW.
No, that's AEW.
Where is
The Founder? It's red, a red picture with Michael Keaton on it.
That one didn't come through.
All right, so there's a movie called The Founder. Stop blowing up pictures. No.
Okay.
So the movie called The Founder is the story of Ray Kroc. And Ray Kroc, he used to sell, I think, ice cream machines. And he went to a place called McDonald's, which was two brothers who used to make hamburgers on an assembly line. So they would make 10 hamburgers at the same time and put them underneath the ketchup thing. It would shoot the ketchup on them. And Ray Kroc thought this was the best idea he had ever seen. And it was only one store. I think it was in California somewhere. And Ray Kroc went out and started franchising them for these McDonald's brothers. But then he started changing stuff, like the way the shakes were made and all of this. And the brothers did not like it. So this guy started doing his own McDonald's, and the brothers sued, and Ray Kroc won, and he got the name McDonald's. And the lawsuit that was settled was the brothers get to keep open their one McDonald's, and Ray Kroc got all the other McDonald's. And he was supposed to give him on a handshake thing, $1 million a year for the rest of his life, which some people say it never happened. But the story about that is when they were allowed to keep their restaurant of McDonald's, Ray Kroc opened up a McDonald's of his own right across the street from them and put them out of business. That's what the movie is.
That's that movie. I think it's on Netflix, and the actor is the guy from Pittsburgh who played Batman. What's his name?
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton, yeah. So is that exactly what that movie is about? Exactly.
That's exactly what the movie is.
Wasn't there a documentary as well?
What?
Wasn't there a documentary on this whole Ray Kroc thing too?
It might have been, but that movie is the movie about how Ray Kroc made McDonald's, and he literally stole the idea from the McDonald brothers.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I mean, just, same thing with with Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook. He stole it from the other guys.
Now,
that's right. I know we're on Facebook.
I know, but I read a whole conspiracy thing the other day that actually that's not exactly the way it happened at all. That he was financed from the CIA and all kinds of crazy conspiracy stuff, which I don't know if it's true or not. It's conspiracy.
Yep. And you know what else? Donald Trump is still the president.
Let's see. All right. Well, let's move on. Moving on. So we have your beautiful lady dropping off the thing, and now you sent me this picture. I don't know why you sent me this picture. What is this picture all about?
All right. This is I believe there's one in Hackensack and there's one in Jersey City on Route 19. This is White Manor, and this place here, after a night of drinking, everybody would like to go to White Castle, but White Manor was the place to go. This is the place. They make it. It's an old style diner. They cook them right in front of you. They still have a jukebox in there that you put a nickel in and play music. But this is White Castle on steroids.
But so it's just It's the same thing. Is it little burgers that taste like White Castle? It's the same thing. Little grilled onions
They do.
stuff.
They take a little thing, they put it on a grill, they smack it with a spatula to flatten it out. I mean, they literally smack it, and then they throw some onions on it, and you got yourself a burger. You could eat, maybe 5 of those.
Well, there's a place in Clark, New Jersey called White Diamond, I believe, which is almost the same thing. It's like a White Castle's, but it's not White Castle's. It's the same thing.
Get away with it, right?
24 hours, right off of exit 135 or the Garden State Parkway, same deal. And it looks like one of the old, remember they used to take a lot of the square box, those little square boxes that they travel around with and cut it into a diner around it. Remember, like they take those cargo boxes?
No.
The containers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they take them and actually build a diner around it. Like they put it on the street, and they put like fancy stuff all around on the inside, put 2 of the containers together and make it into a square box, and it was a diner. They put like Alice Diner all over the place. There's tons of them around. I got to show you a picture of it. I don't have one ready.
Show me a picture. I have no idea what you're talking about right now.
I'm going to have to go Google it. All right. So you also brought up another one here. Let's see. A&W.
A&W. Now I know I've seen them. I've never stopped and eaten at one of them. I know I've had their root beer. I've had their cream soda, but that was another restaurant. I don't know if it's still out there. But they were
fantastic. They made vanilla root beer floats, like unbelievably
good.
And
that I remember. I remember that they were big with that. And yeah, I never remember ever going to one of them, but I know they were big back
in
the day.
Guys, you missed so much, those Jersey guys.
Yeah.
All those things that you missed before.
They didn't have. I think they got one down in Point Pleasant. I think they might have an A&W down there on Broadway.
Now, I know this wasn't about that, but I was remembering stuff when I was a kid. And
before you went out to eat.
Yeah, before you went out to eat, you had to go buy shoes. Where do you think I went?
You suck at this. Buster Brown's, yes.
I know I'm getting distracted, and it has nothing to do with diners, but like your mother would say, all right, we got to go out and buy a pair of shoes. We go to Buster Brown's, and then you go like get an ice cream at the fast food place or something,
Didn't they sell Earth shoes at Buster Brown's or something like that?
I don't know, but you looking at that picture, the kid's got one eye, and the dog is actually very creepy to come to think of it.
He looks rabid. He looks like a rabid dog.
I mean, it's like an Illuminati kid with his finger in the dike in Holland with a creepy dog.
That guy looks like he's got a spider web going on his eye.
Yeah, and by the way, why would you trust buying any shoe with that guy on it? Look at that kid. What's the matter with that kid? The kid looks like a sex trafficked child from the 1950s. Oh, that's creepy, man. That's creepy. Anyway,
it looks like one of the cartels owned that rabid dog.
But I do remember they had these really cool things. They had like decoders and rings and things that you put on with, like you open them up and there was like a special messages in them, and you really want to go get the shoes because they had all these little tricks. Yeah, watches and all kinds of cool stuff. It was almost like Cracker Jacks. They had like special little. You never know what you're going to get. Something cool. Anyway, I brought that up because when I was a kid, I was growing up in Brooklyn, and in Brooklyn there was Buster Brown's, and when we would go eat fast food, we would go to this place called Century 21.
They had one right across the world from the World Trade Center in. That's the one I used to go to when I worked on
Brooklyn, 86th Street and 5th Avenue. Now they're gone. They're gone. I think.
No more. Not even the one down on Wall Street.
I'm not sure. Then I started thinking about these places, and I'm like, there was a place called Corvettes. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, there's.
We didn't have one in Jersey City, but I do remember that there was a place called Corvettes.
It was like the Sears of like And then I started thinking about that, and I was like, wait a minute, what about Gimbals?
Yeah. Did you happen to think about drive-ins, diners, and fast food by any chance?
It's funny you bring that up because before I continue about these, then I started thinking about Maze. And then I started thinking about FW Woolworth.
Oh my God.
And then I started thinking about Robert Hall.
Yeah, I don't remember. There wasn't a Robert Hall by me, but there was a Woolworths. I think it was up at Journal Square in Jersey City.
But Robert Hall, when we were kids, that was the place. Like, oh, your mother would say, like, or we have to go buy a really good suit. We have to go to Robert Hall.
Yeah, right.
Like they had the nice stuff. Anyway, I started thinking about that. I thought of Tom McCann. And I thought, oh yeah, I remember Tom McCann. And the very first place I lived in Buffalo, New York for a couple of years, the very first place that I got a credit card, which by the way, they turned me down. But my very first credit card, you never guess in a million years where I got my credit card from.
Studio 54.
No, from a retailer.
A retail, you probably got it from
I lived in Buffalo at the time.
Two Guys.
That's really interesting because Two Guys is a place that I didn't put a picture up, but I remember. By the way, here's another one I remember.
Orbacks.
Orbacks. Yeah, I got mine from AM&A's.
I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, it was like a Sears of Buffalo. So I was working a construction job. I was a young guy, 17, 16, 18, 19, I don't know what I was. And they I sent in the application. They turned me down.
Dude,
so
you worked a construction job?
Yeah, I was a man at one point.
Put your hands up and let people see how soft and girly your hands are.
Yeah.
That has never touched a hammer.
And look what my hands can do. I can make cards appear and disappear.
You have never touched a hammer.
Actually, I worked in what they called combustion engineering. We used to build. You don't want to bore me with this. I worked in a construction company where I was Q&A, quality QC. I was quality control. That's what I used to handle.
Wow, that's tough.
It was on the lake in Buffalo.
Which goes back to you not having a hammer in your hand. You just made sure somebody else had a good hammer in their hand.
Yeah, I was there making sure everything was done correctly. Apparently, me, an 18-year-old kid who didn't know what I was doing, working for the bosses that handled unions. But what was interesting is that I couldn't get a credit card. I was turned down from AM&A's. And what I did was I went in and told the manager who was doing the books, I said, I don't know what to do. I have no credit. I don't know. How am I going to get credit if I don't give me any credit? What do I do? The guy goes, write a letter. I was like, okay. So I sit there and I write a letter. And he goes, you got to type it. He goes, give me that thing. He types it all back up. And I write a letter and I said, hi, I'm a new person. I'm new to the area. I've been living here. I work in combustion engineering, blah, blah, blah. And I have no credit. And I'd like to have anything just to establish credit. It doesn't matter what it is. And they sent me a credit card for $100. And that was the beginning of becoming a debt slave.
For the rest of your life.
The rest of my life. Yeah, that was it. And then Central Banks took over everything.
And just last week, you paid off that AM&A card.
Actually, what I did was I built it up, and then I got a Sears card, and I went nuts. I bought a couch. I started doing you know how it is. It's very exciting when you're a young person.
I know.
Credit and all that. Anyway, I'm
now
thinking
you
of
just go on your phone and you're like Amazon. You're like, okay. Like my friend wanted two Amazon Fire Sticks. I was like, hang on a second. They'll be here tomorrow.
It's a whole new world. It's a whole new world. But I was thinking about this, and then I thought of this guy.
Crazy Eddie Antar.
Yeah.
Crazy Eddie. I got my mother bought the Commodore 286 there.
Wow. The very beginning of real computers, because before that was 64.
With a box of floppy disks.
Yeah, that's right. That's an amazing story, too. What happened with that guy is an amazing story.
Yeah, right. He embezzled all his money and then ran to like Israel, right?
Something to that effect, yeah. Now, you asked me a question 5 minutes ago, which I've neglected to answer. Let me just check the comments here real quick. Service and merchandise, Woolworth, lunch encounter, soda fountain. Yeah, it was wonderful. Yeah, Alexander.
Soda fountains were great.
Look at that. Charlie Fisher said they came out of bankruptcy.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm assuming he's talking about Crazy Eddie's.
And they're talking about the dog. The dog looks like he's on crack.
Yeah, he does. Little crack dog.
The crack dog is right. So you asked me about drive-ins. And this is a super interesting thing because I was looking this up because I do a lot of prep for these shows.
Crazy, just as much as I do.
Especially since we came up with the theme last night. And especially since the theme that we're talking about, we're not talking about
it. We're not even talking about it.
I love drive-ins as a kid. Here's a picture of a drive-in right here.
Benji's?
Mm-hmm.
Now Shutter Island is used in one of Gene Trifolo's jokes.
Really?
Shrek, Robin Hood, The Losers. All right, so that's not too long ago. So this theater,
Dusk Till Dawn. No, that means it's still open in the 90s or something is what that means. But when it comes to this is another weird thing. This is a really weird thing because First of all, I want to ask you a question. In Warwick, apparently, is there one in Warwick,
It's
New
still
York?
there. Yeah,
It is.
Warwick Drive-In. Yeah.
And I watched something on YouTube where a woman was being interviewed and said that it's 13 acres in length, whereas the standard for a drive-in movie is 15 acres.
Is that right? No, I think there's like 3 screens here in Warwick too.
Mm-hmm. So
I don't know how many acres, but
you're not going to believe this. Do you know how the drive-in movie began?
COVID. People had to go outside and watch movies.
Something about in the beginning.
COVID-14.
It will be COVID-1.
Right. COVID-1. Everybody can't go in theaters anymore. You got to go in your car and put this metal box inside your car.
Not anymore. Not anymore. Now it's the AM radio or FM radio, right? Transmitting.
Yeah. FM.
So I looked it up, and the first person to do this was 85 years ago in Camden, New Jersey.
Okay.
Which, by the way,
I can't go there.
Right now, I wouldn't want to drive there with my windows open to begin with.
Yeah.
It's actually Camden's not that bad. It's kind of mixed up, a little messy.
It's got a bad rap.
Yeah, bad rap. But what happened was there was a guy in 1928, and the guy's name is Richard Hollingshead.
There's a Vanessa Hollingshead who's a comedian.
Yeah, but I don't know. The name Hollingshead for Dick Hollingshead is bad. But yeah, his name is Richard. That. Yeah, Richard Hollingshead. He's Dick Hollingshead. Okay. So, but this is hilarious. This is hilarious. He was a geeky guy. He was a parts man for a car company. He sold parts, right? Every day. And he had a really obese, fat mother, right? And the mom didn't fit in the seats in the theater. So he got a projector, put it up on top of the car, on top of the hood of the car, and took 2 sheets, tied them together, and strung them across in front of the house in the yard, and projected the movie so his mom could sit in the car and watch a movie in the summertime. And she sat there and watched, and that was when the idea was born. And by May in 1933, he opened up his first drive-in movie theater.
Fat Ladies Movie House.
But here's the worst part. He patents it. And after he patents the movie, the whole idea of it, it starts to be okayed, and then it gets turned down, and then everyone opens up a bunch in the 50s and 60s, and he's just like gone. He's out of the whole thing. And
he doesn't even make the money on it?
No. And by the 50s into the 60s, there were 5,000 of those movies in the United States.
Did you ever notice that whenever there was a drive-in movie theater, somehow a tornado would always find it?
Yeah, well, it depends on where you do it, I guess, Now, now you sent me a picture of a commercial, right?
Yes.
And I have the picture of the commercial, but I actually think I have a video, if you will, of the film of the intermissions. You want me to play one of those?
Yeah, why not?
I mean, I have 2 of them here. What happens at the snack bar?
Yeah, they would. That was the intermission. That was the intermission for it. Got you really juiced up to go get a hot dog.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see if I can play this. This is hilarious. Wait a minute. How do you play this? Oh,
is that it?
That's it.
That I don't remember. I remember the dancing hot dog, the one from Greece.
Well, let me fast forward through this.
Coca-Cola. If you're hot dog hungry, we have them. Sizzling, juicy hot dogs served in warm, oven-fresh buns. Plus a complete menu of all your favorites. Visit the Refreshment Center now. Enjoy delicious food and ice-cold Coca-Cola.
Just as a disclaimer, I'm no longer drinking Coca-Cola.
Well, if you're feeling kind of hungry,
I could skip through these. Let's see. There's a whole bunch of them. There's hours of them.
like to have a tasty treat.
Oh, those. Oh, so it's a thing of all. See that? I remember.
You do?
The show starts. Yeah. How's your comment? That clock is backwards, by the way.
So why fuss? Give your family a tasty dinner at this drive-in.
You have 5 minutes till showtime.
I remember that.
What was that?
That's a clown.
Yeah, but what was he diving into?
I don't know.
4 minutes to go.
Look at
He's
this.
creepy.
Now you have 3 minutes.
So that's why
Now you have 2
Only
minutes.
2 minutes left.
I have another one here too that it was kind of interesting. This was
1 minute to go.
He's still
here's another
going.
one. Brief intermissions. Let's
I
see
think
if I
we should every week put that 5 minutes to go, 3 minutes to go, just like 5 minutes before showtime.
And refreshing snack.
This is the one you probably remember.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, with the hot dogs
popcorn.
dancing into with a bun or whatever.
Yes, this is the one. This is the one that was in Greece when he
Is
was
it?
singing Sandy. Stranded at the drive-in, branded a fool. This was playing in the background.
Man, are we old, huh?
People sucked at drawing cartoons.
In those days.
Now you'd have like a guy killing a nun,
We promise to satisfy your hunger,
stealing a
your
Bugatti.
thirst, your sweet tooth.
Girls rubbing their
Visit
crotches
our
together and
refreshment
calling it
center.
music.
Let's go. Show starts in 7 minutes.
This was big.
You
It's like,
have-
the show's going to start.
Now it's like you have 7 minutes to decide if you're male or female.
Coffee and snacks, and many other pleasing treats. Our
Look at
foods
that, huh?
are fresh
Delicious.
and tasty. Our
Look how bad the
drinks
quality of video
satisfying
is.
and refreshing.
And
They're so
refreshing.
It's very refreshing.
You get more out of life when you go out to a movie.
That's right.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. They even
Show
lied back
starts
then.
in 4 minutes.
To visit our snack bar and treat yourself to some delicious Castleberry's pit-cooked barbecue sandwiches. Cook the Castleberry way, slowly over
many people
open
died
bits
from
of
that?
glowing charcoal, then seasoned with a sauce that's zesty, yet delightfully.
When leaving, please turn switch off and replace on speaker post. Warning, high voltage. For your own safety, do
How many people pulled out of that place and still had the speaker in their car when they got home?
Totally agree.
Funny, man.
It is funny. And, you know, I look back at this stuff and I remember it so well. And it's a melancholy kind of feeling, you know, and I kind of miss it almost. Dancing. There you go. Doug Gorman goes, dancing food. You're absolutely right.
The dancing food, yeah, all the
They
time.
still have hot chestnuts in New York. What's hot chestnuts?
I think he's coming out of the closet.
Oh, okay. Tell him that your chestnuts are kind of cool at this point.
Yeah.
Still summer.
Yeah. Hey, John Cimino, you can come see me at Christmas time.
Funny how they had a commercial about pop. They don't have a commercial about popcorn. Yeah. You know, it was just different times. And I got to say, I kind of like that there was old fashioned music and dancing food. And I
Yeah.
kind of like, and it was I don't know, it was rudimentary, but it was still cool, you know? Anyway, moving on.
Moving on.
Move on. We don't have much time left. So,
10 minutes.
yeah. Okay. So let me just bring up this thing. This is another weird thing. Do you remember there was a guy who was the co-founder of Atari? That's him.
Okay.
Doesn't look familiar to you, does he?
No.
So he's the co-founder of Atari, and what he does, his name is Nolan Bushnell, I think it is, and he left the arcade game business back in the day, and he wanted to open a theme park with arcade games in it. And 1977, he opened a place called Pizza Time. So Pizza Time, tell me if this looks familiar. Showbiz Pizza Place.
No.
Doesn't look familiar.
No.
That's what it started out as that, and then what do you think it turned into?
No, I was gonna say Chuck E. Cheese.
That's right, and he got all arcade games in that place, and he would play
Is that
arcade
still
games.
open, though, Chuck E. Cheese?
You know, it's a really bizarre story. What's gone on with these people and what happened? Apparently, I don't know. They are up and back and still around, but it started off as Pizza Time Theater and Showbiz Pizza, and then it went into Chuck E. Cheese's, and then it went down the tubes for after a while for some reason, because they were partnering with people, and it went bankrupt in 1984, and then they got.
Yeah, but there was one here in Middletown not 2 years ago.
Yeah, and what
Middletown,
happened is
New York.
they had those animatronic things in there that were creepy.
Yeah,
Remember?
I mean that was one of those places that their thing was they gave you tokens, they sold pizza, they had games all over the place, but you could the catch, if I remember right, bringing my kids, they put a bracelet on you and they put a bracelet on your child, and somebody could not steal your child out of the place unless they had that same bracelet on.
It's funny you bring that up because I do remember it was like a big thing maybe in the 90s that that kids were taken from there. And that's when they started doing this bracelet thing, this way you couldn't go in or out because people were getting stolen. But this guy's idea was to open a place that had tons of arcade games originally.
That's Dave and Buster's now.
While you're waiting to get your pizza.
Do you ever go to Dave and Buster's?
No, I never had, but that's the modern day Chuck E. Cheese, is it not?
Yeah, Dave and Buster's is for grown-ups. I mean, they have the tables with you can get steak and everything in there, but then you go spend money in an arcade, and it's like real arcade games.
You know, I've never been to Dave and Buster's.
We should go to a Dave and Buster's, you and I.
I'd be more than happy to go to Dave and Buster's. I like it. I love video games and stuff.
There's one up in the Palisades Mall. If you ever up by there.
I'm actually near there all the time.
Yeah, there's one in the Palisades Mall.
And this is the guy that took this thing over and brought it back. And look at the difference between those weird characters that did the shows to these new things.
Yeah.
Everything's like modernized. And I was trying to get this guy to come on the show.
Oh, is that the guy?
Yeah, he's the current guy that brought them out of losing money.
Yeah.
This is the guy who started it all. And then this is the guy who now runs it all and brought it back from the dead, really.
Good.
It's just a weird story. And, there he is. Even getting this guy to come on would be, see that? He's the Atari founder, Steve Jobs' first boss.
Yeah, I would like to have him on one time.
Well, yeah, I'd love to speak to this guy. And he's gone through really weird, he could tell you stories about corporate business over the last 50 years.
Just so you know, next week, anybody who's still watching, we're looking to get
people there.
We're looking to get John Amos on the show. He's agreed to come on. We just have to fit him in. I think we're going to do next Thursday. John Amos, which is James Evans Sr. from Good Times.
Right, correct.
TV goes show Good Times.
Dan Nav says, let's do a show from Dave and Buster's. I'd be more than happy to. We can walk around at the camera. I'll get my friend Franco. We'll come in. We'll do the whole thing. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, look at Dan Nav trying to become the producer.
We'll do it as long as he comes and videotapes it and brings the internet.
All.
You need strong internet, right?
Yeah.
The police bracelet they put on themselves so you wouldn't get lost. Yeah, that's true. This was a big thing with the police bracelet. That was huge. It was really good, huge. Yeah, it was fun.
A good idea.
But what is there anything else when you? Oh, by the way, you sent me this. Here it is, the Warwick Drive-In.
Yeah, that's the drive-in that's up here. 3 screens. That's still working till this day.
Have you been in there to watch a movie?
The last movie I went to go see there was with my son. I think it was the Spider-Man that came out that wasn't Tobey Maguire. So they redid the Spider-Man again, and they did it with another guy. That's the movie I saw there with my son.
Spider-Boy?
No, it was Spider-Man, but it was the same story told over again with a different character.
Hey, by the way, speaking of traveling around the country as a comic, one of the places that I've stopped at 1 million times, what would it be?
It's got to be McDonald's.
No. Traveling as a comic around the country, it's all over the place. When you travel between here and Florida, there's only 2 things that you see over and over and over again. One
White
is
Castle?
No.
Cracker Barrel.
That's the new place. The older place.
The older place is Burger King. You're not going to start talking about Burger King again, are you?
No.
What is it? Oh, I just went to one of those in Myrtle Beach.
Hey, please.
My first time at Waffle House. It was awesome.
Stop bragging about the high-end restaurants that you generally go to. Yeah, Waffle House. Now, this is like they're all over, especially between here, up and down the East Coast. They're all over the place. I know.
Yeah, I went to one in Myrtle Beach. The first time I went to one of them, it was good. I had waffles with
vanilla waffle. Oh, aren't they great? Their waffles are awesome. It's so funny. I was in Kentucky. I hadn't been there in a lot of years, and I was in Kentucky. It was like 1:00 in the morning. I was at the ventriloquist convention, and it was me and Bob Rumber and a bunch of comedian ventriloquists. And it was like 1 or 2 in the morning. I said, I'll take you guys out to breakfast. And it was 3-4 miles away from the hotel in Kentucky. So we drive down to this Waffle House. And I go in there. I am such an idiot. Like, so they come over and people are ordering all this stuff. And I say, hi, do you have any, can I get like bottled water? You know, we don't have any bottled water. I was like, oh, okay. You want orange juice? I'm like, nah, I don't know. I said, all right, can I get like egg whites? And they, oh, we don't have egg whites. We just have regular eggs. I'm like,
listen, outside on the sign, did you read the sign?
yeah,
Waffle. We have waffles.
Yeah. And then I was like, all right, well, would you like waffles? I'm like, no, because that's going to make me like get really sleepy and tired after eating them. You know, the sugar and the bread and stuff. Like, I don't want to do that. I just want like clean egg whites and bottled water.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
That's
and all
not
the
the
things I keep, they looked at me like, what are you, a freak? Like, this is the Waffle House.
Right. What's wrong with you? Are you not getting this? If you want something to drink, we will put a waffle in a blender.
And I was a big hero. I took everybody out to, you know, breakfast.
And it cost you $13.
$10. It cost like 13 people. Yeah. You know, you're giving the waitress $20 tip for $10 meal. It was like, there you go. You did great.
You just made her day.
Yeah. I got to say, though, the food there, it's late at night. It's greasy, but it's good. Yeah. It's really
but I don't know what they use something special in their waffle syrup
it's called
that they
sugar.
put there, but it's good. It's called sugar.
Delicious.
It's called sugar.
You must have the sugar if you want to have a good waffle. You need the good sugar if you. Oh, Cress. There's another place I forgot about. Cress. Remember hear that department store?
No.
Never heard of Cress?
No.
Okay. See. Oh, one other thing before we get out of here. We only got 2 minutes. Something that was super popular, that was not necessarily a diner, and was not necessarily a place to eat, but it was around everywhere you would go to do it as well. What was it?
Kodak. Dude, I got to tell you something.
And
You
Kodak was
you
photo.
really suck on keeping on topic.
I know. I have my mind is all over the place. But
Right.
that
the
is
next time we do a show that's not diner, drive-ins, or fast food, you have nothing to show.
You're right. But do you remember Photo Man?
Sure.
Yeah. It was
Kodak
the
film.
one day photo sign. You drive through, you drop off your film in a little pouch and give it to them. Next day you drive through and you pick it back up. This is the greatest thing. That was big to get 1 day processing for your film.
Yeah, I got to see these pictures.
And they were all over the place.
Yeah, and you didn't waste your pictures. Rodney Laney does a joke about that, about when you had 24 pictures. He goes and pictures. When you have 24 pictures, he says, hey, take a picture of me. He goes, I ain't wasting my pictures. I only got 24 of them. I got 24 of them. So you were very careful in how you took the pictures.
You know, you were careful about those pictures, but you were even more careful when you used the Polaroids, because the Polaroids, you get like 10.
Oh, yeah.
You go, and it would come out and go like this. You could go like this. Trying to make it.
I told this. I said this one time. Joey Callahan does a joke about that. When back in the day, when you were going to send a picture of your private parts, your penis, if you were going to send it to a girl, you took it with a Polaroid. It came out, and you're like, "Oh, this girl's going to love this when I mail this to her. Oh my God, when she sees this, she's going to want some more of this, you know." But the photo, Matt. Let's get back to the Future. If you remember in Back to the Future Part 1, they met in the Twin Pine Mall. They were racing around. He hit 88 miles an hour. He just missed the photo, Matt. The Kodak booth, and the Libyans crashed into it with their VW bus, and that was in also the Back to the Future movies.
Right, which that was supposed to take place in what year? I guess I don't know.
1985.
1985. Photomat. Yeah, and it's funny because I was looking at the fast food stuff, and I was looking at these malls with fast food places, and that popped up, and I was like, "Oh yeah, remember that?"
The Kodak booth. Yeah, they were in the parking lot of like the major malls, the big department stores. They were in the parking lot.
Yeah, yeah. And you know something really, really old that we didn't bring up today? Me.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking at.
You are so cute.
I was a cute kid. And speaking of old people, look at that guy.
You should make a puppet of yourself as a baby.
No, thank you. I was a cute kid. It's all over. Anyway, it's been too much fun. We're going to thank everybody for hanging out with us. They're all 110 people hanging out. And
next week, John Amos. I'm telling you, I am 94.3% sure John Amos is joining us next week. I think it's going to be Thursday.
Thursday, 8 o'clock. Oh, Walt, it's been too much fun. We'll see you on Cool Crap We Love episode. It'll be episode 38.
Yeah, I can't wait till we have our convention where we bring all 14 people to see us.
No!
Not her!
All right, we'll see you next week. Thanks, Walt.
Ciao, baby.
Fun. Take care, guys. Thanks for coming. If you like it, press the button, like, share.
Share us on Facebook, hit us on YouTube, and also on BitChute. We're on there.
BitChute. That's right.
BitChute. If you don't want to go on YouTube anymore, hit us on BitChute.
See you later. Oh, that's so nasty. I love it.